Hi, folks. So happy to have you here tonight. This is Karen Trepte from Gaijin Works International Business Coaching, for those of you who have seen me before. And I have a very, very deep passion for wellness. And we have the honor tonight to have Carla Fry with us on this Google Hangout on air. And she has been a biology teacher, is a beautiful mom of 4 children, and I will let her tell you a little bit more about herself. She's a dear friend and also an associate of mine for doTERRA Essential Oils.
Karen, thank you. It's wonderful to be here with you today. I am thrilled for this. I'm thrilled that we get to talk about healthy, natural solutions for families, and I'm thrilled to be here with you. As you folks may know, Karen is just fantastic. She's a fabulous business coach, but more than that, she's a loyal and dear friend who has a heart and a desire to really bless people's lives, whether that may be through her business coaching or through supporting people at a deeper level, at the health level, their physical and emotional wellness. It's just been such a pleasure for me to get to know Karen and also that we get to share this information with you today. This has truly changed my life. So thank you, Karen, for having me here on here today, and I'm excited to talk about this.
You're so welcome, Carla. I'm just so delighted that you introduced me to these oils. They've already made a remarkable difference in my life. I'm using lavender on my feet at night to go to sleep. It's helped with my husband's aches and pains. The stories just go on and on. So I'm going to get us started with the slides, and know that neither Carla or I are really what you would call techies. So we're having a lot of fun with this, and here we go.
Okay, so the first thing that Karen's going to be bringing up here on the screen share, you'll see the title of this is Family Physician Kit. And the title of our presentation today, talking about natural, healthy families, so that you can have the ability to care for your family more naturally. It gives you greater peace of mind and solutions that are fast, that are right there at your fingertips. So I love this. The way that I got involved with doTERRA in the beginning was, as Karen mentioned, my background is in science. And I loved science. I loved pharmaceuticals. I loved, natural medicine, or I loved modern medicine. I loved all of those things. But we got to a point where we were looking, to incorporate more natural solutions, having seen the value of those as well. And we were introduced to doTERRA. Now, as the second slide will show, first and foremost, doTERRA, we don't prevent, treat, or cure disease. Your lifestyle choices can really help to prevent disease. And so that's something that we're going to be talking about quite a bit today, is what you can be doing proactively to stay healthy. Also, doctors, they treat symptoms and they fix broken parts. I'm super grateful for modern medicine and thankful for doctors and for all that they do. That being said, there are some limitations even that they face. And so those are some of the things that we're going to be talking about, like ways that you can fill in those gaps. And then finally, your body cures diseases. With whatever medications you're taking or food that you're eating, things that you're doing with your body, ultimately it's your body that fixes itself, that takes care of those things. And so that's just to get us started. Okay, next slide.
Hey, it's on my screen so far. It's Who Do You Love? And it's a picture of my sister Kim with my grandson Ethan and my daughter Jasmine and Kim's wonderful husband David, and they're at Disneyland, one of my favorite places on earth.
Awesome. Okay, so as you look at this, Karen, what was your motivation for getting involved with doTERRA? What's your why, and why did you choose this picture right here?
Well, I chose to get involved because of the wonderful aroma touch therapy that you gave me. It's not really quite a massage, but it's definitely an experience that's very close to a massage, and the oils just felt so good on my body. I, opposite from Carla, actually come from a background that's quite holistic. I've always been on that side of the fence, if you will. I've always looked for natural solutions. I studied gardening. I have a master gardener title. I worked in a chiropractor's office for many years, gave consultations on holistic health. And I've always been involved with nutrition and always been involved with herbs and vitamins. And when I found out that the essential oils that doTERRA offers are 50 to 70% more powerful than herbs, that really piqued my attention. So I started out with getting actually a family physician kit, which I absolutely adore, and started using the lavender to help me with some very long-standing issues with sleep that I've had.
Awesome.
So this next screen that I have on here right now, it says, "Why does this matter to you?" is a very cute picture of Carla's family.
And so we get into that just a little bit, that why. And so why am I doing this? Because I want the power to be able to help my family in the moments that we need it. I want to be able to take care of nausea and colds and flu and bumps and bruises and all of those things. I want to have the tools when I need them. I want to have the knowledge and the confidence that I can take care of my family more immediately. And if you're like me, you want to be a healer in your home. You want to be able to take care of your family in the moment and in the ways that they need it so that you have peace of mind. So for me, that why is super motivating. Okay.
So Carla, I think you could share with them even briefly, because I think your story is so powerful, about how you were first introduced to these oils, even though you were on a very scientific level. How these oils ended up with an experience. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So for sure. All right. So as you're looking at that little picture there of my family, you can see that. Basically, we were up camping a few years back in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and we were there with a couple of other families, and I had taken all of the kids out on this little walk out in the woods. And while we were out, the two youngest that were with us in the group were 4. So one of them was my son and then another little friend. And they were kind of lagging a little bit behind everybody. And all of a sudden I heard them screaming like right behind me, and I turned around, and the 2 of them had sat right in a yellow jacket's nest. They'd gotten tired, they sat down to rest, and they sat right in a yellow jacket's nest. And when you see those cartoons where it's like the big black cloud, that's totally what it looked like. It was amazing, actually. And so I ran over there, I'm trying to get them out of there. I'm grabbing them. I'm trying to get, all of the yellow jackets off of them. And I'm getting stung, and they're getting stung, and they're screaming, and the big kids are freaking out. And anyways, it was traumatic. It was traumatic, and then I've got to carry these 2 4-year-olds back to camp like half a mile. So by the time we got back to camp, they were still really upset. They were worked up, and the stings were really painful at that point. And we'd all been stung a lot of times. And so we're looking around, and because we were camping, we just didn't really have anything with us. Anyway, so one of the families that we were with, they had some of these oils, and they just said, we don't really know what these are or how to use them, but we don't think they're poisonous, and we think that they'll probably help. And so I was like, whatever you have, let's throw them on the kids. And so we did, and we had the lavender, lemon, and peppermint. And they really seemed to help. I mean, the sting started to go down. The pain was receding. It was actually really remarkable. All the kids calmed down. I felt calmer, everything. And just a little while later, the camp director came by, who had dropped off the oils with the family that we were with. And by this time, my curiosity was really piqued. And so I asked him about them. Okay, what is this? What are these oils, and why are they working? And anyway, so he started to explain to me that the lavender and the lemon were natural antihistamines. And so they were counteracting those stings. And then the peppermint was a cooling agent and a pain reliever. Yeah, and it was really amazing. And so anyways, where I admit, before my mind had been kind of closed to this, all of a sudden that experience and the fact that we had been seeking more natural solutions, that kind of all came together at that time and really influenced me. It really had a profound effect on me. And as I was sitting there thinking, and he was talking and he's telling me about, the way they source the plants and, how pure they are. There's no pesticides or chemicals or anything like that. Just those years of botany and chemistry were tapping in my brain saying, if the oils really are as pure as he says they are, and they're getting them from plant sources like this that are grown in their indigenous habitat and they're processed this way, then they should work, because that's where they get pharmaceuticals. They go out to the rainforest, they study some plant that's been helping the native people, and then they take, whatever the active ingredient is that they find, they isolate that, and then they synthesize it in a lab and put it into a drug, and that's, a major way that we get pharmaceuticals. So anyways, that was something that really opened up my mind. and opened up my heart even, to the possibility of embracing this as viable, sustainable way of life for us.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Carla. I mean, that's one of the things that I had studied, and so that's why these natural solutions always have made a lot of sense to me, because I know that that's how modern medicine was born. And certainly I and my family, we've used modern medicine, so we totally embrace it. We're very happy that it's here. We're very blessed to have it, but still we know that these sources ultimately came from nature. And if there's any way we can access the absolutely pure gifts that the divine, if you will, has given us, then that's what I want. I know from studying nutrition many years ago, back then they were talking about just the vitamin C and how vitamin C had been synthesized, and all of a sudden they looked at something that was more natural, and they noticed that there were bioflavonoids there. In other words, the elements of the plant are very complex, and there's no way that a laboratory can absolutely replicate and put everything in there that nature's already given us.
Yeah.
So the next slide says, who is in control of your family's health care?
Yeah. And, and that's a big question, that if you're like me, you want to be able to have as much control over the things that matter most to you as possible. And so when you think about your healthcare currently, where does the majority of that control lie? And are you satisfied with that? Would you like to have more control over your family and being able to help them in the ways and in the times that they need them? So let's go ahead and go to the next slide.
Okay. This is a doTERRA wellness lifestyle, and actually with our new Mind, Body, and Spirit page on Gaijin Works International Business Coaching, I've written a blog, and we're going through all these different categories that have meant so much to me throughout my life. And I think that this is really pretty self-evident, and it's one of the things that really appeals to me about doTERRA, is that doTERRA is all about creating a wellness lifestyle for people. It's not saying, okay, go out and eat, 10 bags of potato chips and then take this oil and feel all better. It's not about that at all. It's about really trying to encourage us to do what most of us, myself, my hands way up in the air, know how to do already. And sometimes it can be challenging to do that. But definitely eating right is going to affect our chemistry. Eating right is going to affect our moods, how we feel. Just ask my husband if I don't get to eat for hours and hours, how I act on low blood sugar. It's not very pretty.
Yeah.
So exercise is totally critical. Exercise raises our endorphins. Again, these are really no-brainers. These are things that people know already. There have been study after study has been done on the importance of sleep. So ask yourselves, do you really get enough rest? That's critical. It's been even, I think, on the cover of Time magazine, how important sleep is. Our busy current lifestyle has just led to more and more people just cutting back on sleep, thinking that that's going to be a solution, whereas actually that raises cortisol levels and has definite effects on our body and helps us. We need the sleep to manage the stress in our lives. The toxic load that it's talking about on the red block on here on the slide is talking really about the modern industrial environment that most of us, I know this is being broadcast globally, so it's not going to apply to everyone, but most of us live in societies where there are fumes from the cars, where there are plastics that put in our food. You might even be eating GMOs, genetically modified things that are coming in your regular food source, or eating a lot of fast foods. Those are things we can really control. The cleaning products that are under a lot of our sinks, those are things that we can choose to use or not to choose. So I'll let you do the rest of this slide, Carla.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. I mean, that's just a fantastic explanation. And so there are a couple of different parts of this that we'll be addressing specifically. So one of them gets into, this proactive lifestyle and using the oils both for taking care of current issues that we're dealing with, or actually preventing, illnesses that we know are possibilities for us. So if you go ahead and go to the next slide.
Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah. And so doTERRA offers therapeutic grade essential oils, which are a natural health solution. And so on the next slide, what does that mean? What is an essential oil? So first of all, some of you may have, lots of experience with essential oils. For some of you, this may be your first exposure. So I'm just going to do a little brief overview here, just so that we're all on the same page. So basically, what is an essential oil? If you look at this picture, the green leaves right there, those are peppermint leaves. And if you look at the purple picture with the little sacks to the right of it, those are the little sacks of the essential oil that are actually on that peppermint leaf. And so this is magnified many, many times so that you can see those little oil sacks. And so basically, an essential oil is a natural aromatic compound that's found in plants. So if you crush the leaf of that peppermint, it'll smell more strongly. And that's because you're breaking those little oil sacs. So how we get them is they're either steam distilled, cold press extracted from the plant material. And the really cool thing about them is that they're powerful. They have so many safe benefits without all of the side effects. And like Karen was talking about, because there are hundreds of natural compounds in each one of these plants, there are a lot of different beneficial uses that can come to our bodies, even just from one oil. So how is it that you use an essential oil? On the next one, it talks about 3 ways that we use them. First is aromatically, and so diffusing is where you have it in a small little machine, or even just in your hands, where you are breathing it in. So you're taking it in aromatically, and this can have a powerful effect on your emotions, on your respiratory health. It can have an impact on your limbic system, which controls your heart rate and your breathing, helping you to feel happier naturally. Another way that we use the oils is topically, and so as it says, you can apply it directly to the skin during massage or for topical therapy. So let's say, you've got pain, you've got inflammation, you can apply the oils directly to that, or a wart, or a rash, or, a skin blemish, any of those kind of things where you would be putting it on topically. That's directly onto your skin. And then internally, now this is what sets doTERRA apart. And this is the part that's really exciting, is the being able to use these oils in particular internally. Now, this is not something that I would recommend for all oils, and you really want to watch your packaging to see what it says about that. Let's say, you get an oil from a health food store or, a grocery store or wherever. If it says for topical use only or for aromatic use only, believe that and follow those instructions, because they know what's in that oil and you may not, actually. So there may, it may not have been grown organically. So there may be some kind of pesticides or chemicals in there, or during the extraction process, there may have been some kind of a solvent that they use to increase the yield, or in fact, it may not be a natural, like a pure and organic essential oil at all. It could be a synthetic, and we know that actually happens way more often than you would realize. In fact, Dr. Robert Pappas is one of the premier essential oil experts in the world, and he talks about that assuming that there's some part of it that is a synthetic compound, that is more the rule than the exception, unfortunately. And so for me, that was one of the big differences that made me want to use doTERRA. So on this next slide, you'll see essential oil safety. And essential oils... Oh yeah, go right ahead.
So I just want to give a few examples for the essential oil uses, because it's been so exciting for me. I'm just going to stick to one oil or we'd be here all night, but I want to give an example of peppermint. So aromatically, I actually used peppermint today several different ways. So one, I put a few drops in my hands, rub it together, and I smelled that peppermint oil. Boy, it really cleared out my nostrils, and it also made me ready to go work out in the gym. So it helped me that way. I took a little bit of the extra that was on my hands, rubbed it on my back because my back tends to get sore. And I've also used the peppermint oil internally. I always put oils in my water. I carry a big water bottle with me wherever I go. I've done that for years. And I put a little peppermint in there, and it helps with digestion. So here's the next one on essential oil safety. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks for sharing that, Karen. That's fantastic. And perfect examples of ways that they really bless your life. And with the essential oils, they really are very safe. They're gentle. They don't have all of the side effects that pharmaceuticals have. A couple of things, though, to remember is you do want to keep them out of your eyes, your ears, and your nose. Peppermint on your back is fantastic. Peppermint peppermint in your eyes? Not so much.
Not so fantastic.
It's
Actually,
very minty.
I've done that a little bit, and so it's because I'm just really love the oils so much, and I keep loving to smell them on
I
my
know.
hands. So
Yeah.
I have a little bit in my eyes before, and I definitely do not recommend that.
Right. And so should that happen, and especially if you're using them with kids or with people that, have sensitive skin, should that happen, it's actually really easy to fix it. And so you want to dilute it with a vegetable oil. My favorite is coconut oil, and doTERRA has a fantastic one. It's called fractionated coconut oil, where they've removed, the fat solids. And so it's odorless, it's colorless, it's tasteless, and it absorbs really quickly and it won't stain anything. So basically, let's say you got a little bit of peppermint a little close to your eye, just get some oil, like coconut oil or vegetable oil, pure olive oil, something to that effect. Rub that on there, and then just wipe it gently with a tissue, and it comes right off. You don't want to use water because oil and water repel, and so the water will actually drive it deeper into the tissue. Now, that can be a beneficial thing. Let's say, for example, you've got some back pain and you rub an oil onto that, and you want to use a warm washcloth on there as a warm compress. That will actually drive that oil down deeper into the tissue, and so that can be a really great thing because that water is, being repelled by the oil, and so it drives it down a little bit deeper.
That's a great idea. So if I take a hot bath at night and then put the peppermint oil on, is that a good way to get that deeper into those tissues?
Or even if you put the oil on first and then climb into your bath, then yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Wow. Okay.
That'd be fantastic. A couple other things. So skin sensitivity. For the most part, the oils are actually very easy to use on your skin. There's some of them that are a little mintier, a little bit hotter than others, like oregano is a hot one, or cinnamon. Those are ones that you'll want to dilute as well. And the nice thing is that we have reference books, and you can look, information up online. But I have a favorite reference book that I use called the Modern Essentials book, and that, has a whole dilution chart on there, whether you're going to want to dilute it with kids or with older people. And then just follow.
I love that book, Carla, because you gave that to me when I went on the loyalty rewards program.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, from seeing that beautiful hardcover book, it tells me how to use all the oils, because I had no idea.
Right.
That was really one of the main reasons that I went on that loyalty rewards program. That's like a frequent flyer club. So, okay, I go to the next slide, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the great thing about this too, is that everybody starts out as a beginner. I didn't know how to use the oils either at all in the beginning. And so having that book was just fantastic. I think of it as like a cross between a medical reference and a cookbook. If you can read a cookbook, then you can absolutely use the oils. It's just that simple. You just look it up, read the directions, and follow it. It's super simple for even those who have had no experience whatsoever.
But it's still impressive, even though I don't read many of them. It's still impressive to see all those medical references in there about the scientific studies that have been done with the different oils. So
and that's part of it that just made my heart so happy. Actually, was to see the the clinical trials and the organic chemistry and all of that. Like that just thrilled me. Okay, so right here. So why choose doTERRA's essential oils? And this is something that we've talked about a little bit already. So there are different grades of oils, and the grade that doTERRA has, it's called Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And what that means is, you've got your different grades of oils. You've got your synthetic oils that are in like your little wall plugins and things like that, where that was actually never part of a plant. And not only is it not necessarily healthy, it actually can be harmful to your body. Because it's a synthetic chemical. You've got your food grade oils that are safe, to eat, so like your peppermint candies and cinnamon gums and things like that. And they've got a great flavor, even a great smell, but not necessarily any medical value or therapeutic value there. The next grade that you have is therapeutic grade, and that's the kind that you'll find, in your health food stores and places like that. And there again, I think that there are some good oils there. The problem is that this is not an industry that's regulated by the FDA, and so you really have to know your company and you have to know their oils, and that's a really hard thing. That's a really hard thing, to know the quality of each individual oil that they have. And so that's why I was actually really drawn to doTERRA, is after doing the research that I did to find that they really had the highest quality in the world. And the testing methods that they go through, there are 6 different tests that each liter of oil goes through, at 3 different stages during the production process. And that's something that we could go into at another time. But what it really boils down to is this slide right here, where they really are pure. They're natural. There's no artificial ingredients, fragrances, or fillers. They're safe, and they truly are certified to be free of pesticides and other chemical residues. And then finally, they're potent. And so they're standardized active compounds. And so when I work with my healthcare professionals, I can confidently give them a sample and say, here, try this for allergies or for that child's cough or something to that effect. And I know that that will work because the quality standard is there, instead of maybe try this, it might help. But really having that confidence in the quality has made all the difference for me. And that's why doTERRA's oils are being studied in universities around the world now. They're being studied and put into practice in healthcare practices, in hospitals, by competent medical professionals because of this thing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty outstanding. I mean, even cancer is being researched in terms of essential oils. That is at Vanderbilt Hospital, I think. So that's pretty terrific.
Yep.
Okay, our next slide says family physician essential oil.
Okay, so with the oils, there are different kits that you can get to get started. We're going to go over one that's called the Family Physician Kit. This is your most basic kit, and this one covers a wide range of family ailments and concerns. So as you look at this, where it says 6 essential oils and 4 essential oil blends that no family should ever be without. And I have absolutely found that to be true. When I first ordered my first set of oils, I had no idea what any of them did. And so I got the book, just like you, Karen. And as things came up, we would just look it up in the book and see what was there and how to fix it. And that was how I learned. It was just such a blessing to have those oils there on hand when I needed it. And it was just fantastic. So
for me, I've even experimented around, just to give you folks out there in our audience a different experience of this too. I've even just said, okay, let's try this, let's try that, and then look up in the book and see what good things it's doing for me.
Awesome. Yeah. And in fact, Karen, I know this first one, lavender, this is one that you've had a lot of good experiences with. Do you want to share with us some of your...
Well, it's been so wonderful with me. I mean, just putting the lavender drops, I started out before I met Carla with just 3 of the essential oils from doTERRA, and that was the lemon and the lavender and the peppermint. So I got to play around with those a little bit, but luckily I got to meet her shortly after having them and then decided to get a family physician kit as well. But with the lavender, I put it on the bottom of my feet. The frankincense was one that I actually played with until I found out how powerful it was, and I was so glad I was playing with it. My mom has skin cancer, and so I have these deep red lines on my forehead that get kind of scaly. And I started applying the frankincense, since one of the things it said in the book was it was good for the skin, and those actually came off. So it was pretty remarkable. And then when my daughter got sick, I mean, we used the On Guard, and I was in the same small room as she was. Actually, we were traveling, sharing the same bed, and that kept her going to work, going to her conference, and it kept me well the entire time. So we used Breathe on her chest, and I kept drinking the On Guard, which actually I love the taste of. And then I found out it has the cinnamon in it, and ginger, and I think some grapefruit essential oil in it. It's actually quite yummy.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many stories that I could tell. I mean, there really are. I'll just tell you a quick one about this lavender. So this summer we were up camping. Again, our family likes to camp. And anyways, we were up camping, and my little niece was with us, and she was 3. Anyways, she actually ended up running her hand along a propane stove and completely burned her fingers. I mean, just terrible. Like, you just all of a sudden hear that blood-curdling scream as she realizes that she's burned. And my sister ran over to her and picked her up, brought her over. We got a bowl of cold water and stuck her hand in the cold water immediately. And then I went and got my oils. And so we threw in some lavender, some melaleuca, some frankincense, and some geranium, and had her keep her little hand in that bowl of water pretty much actually for the rest of the evening. And, usually with a burn like that, well, Karen, last time you were burned, like how long did it throb for?
It throbs for a long time, Carla.
I know.
And I thought it was just amazing that you told me that child slept that night. I mean,
she did.
And their parents got to sleep besides. That's incredible.
No, they did. They all did. And it was amazing. Yeah. We kept those oils on there and wrapped her little hand up. Anyways, as we looked at the burns and tried to figure out, what to do, we were actually so far away. I mean, literally hours and hours from the nearest hospital. But on a couple of those fingers, it looked like a 3rd-degree burn. And the other 2 were probably 2nd degree. Okay, so we'll just try this. We'll give it a go and see how it is. And if it really comes down to it, we'll take her to the hospital. But like you were saying, we kept those oils on there, wrapped it up, and she actually went to bed that night and slept through the night. And
amazing.
Yeah, fine. Anyways, and I have some pictures, some befores and afters, just over the process of the days. But within about 7 days or so, that skin was new and pink and healing. And I mean, the recovery on it was just remarkable. So that's one of the reasons why I'm super thankful for lavender these days. It's just fantastic for allergies, for bug bites. That's the one we used with all of the yellow jacket stings. I wouldn't be without it for burns. It's just awesome.
I've seen videos with Dr. David Hill with people who really have very, very severe chemical burns and the befores and afters, and it's truly amazing. And I'm so thankful for them, because if you break down, how many cents that bottle of lavender costs per dose, it's just so minimal.
It's about 7 cents per dose, 7 or 8 cents per drop. So, I mean, it really is remarkable, actually.
And it smells delightful. It's one of my favorite things to breathe.
Yep, for sure. Okay, the next one is lemon. Lemon is fantastic for so many reasons. I mean, there's a reason why this oil has been so popular for so long. It really is fantastic for cleaning, for cutting grease. It is a mood stabilizer. It just helps you feel so much better for, neutralizing odors, all of that. Right there where it says taking internally with water as an antioxidant and a detoxifier. So a lot of times we hear about, BPA and those plastic chemicals, those petrochemicals that enter our body. And what happens is your body will take and stick that into a fat cell to protect itself. And then it's just hanging on to that for dear life. And they've discovered that that's one of the reasons why people have such a hard time releasing weight, is because of that. And what lemon will do is it'll go into that cell. And because it's an oil, it can actually penetrate into that fat cell. It can dissolve that toxin out of your body. And it flushes out, and your body's actually more likely to release weight naturally that way as well.
It's a pretty nice benefit, and I always tell people when they're getting the lemon to make sure that you use it in a glass container of some sort. Do not use plastic, because we want to make sure all the benefit goes inside you.
Right.
They've done studies where they've dropped just a couple of drops of the lemon on styrofoam, and the styrofoam disappears. So it's a pretty darn good visual of what happens and how powerful it can be inside our own bodies.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorite things to do during a class, actually. I'll take a little styrofoam cup with me. It's one of our little party tricks we like to do.
Okay.
So that's a fun one. Okay, peppermint is awesome for so many reasons. It talks about using it as a healthy, refreshing mouth rinse, invigorating the lungs, and increasing alertness. Basically, when I'm congested, whether it's cold or, just a cold morning even, or people with allergies, this is a fantastic thing to open up those airways, just even from the very first breath. I mean, it's just powerful. In fact, they say 1 drop of peppermint oil is the equivalent of 28 cups of peppermint tea. So if you're dealing with, some digestive issues or with nausea, this peppermint is just fabulous for that. Just fantastic. Okay, melaleuca. Now, melaleuca is one that you may know as tea tree oil. And so this is one that's been used a lot of different ways for a long time. Melaleuca is fantastic as an antifungal oil, an antibacterial oil, an antiviral. It's just been known for being able to help with fungal infections, for mold, for mildew, even lice. It's a fantastic oil for skin, clearing up blemishes and those kind of things. I love this oil. It's one that I just carry with me all the time.
I put it on the bottom of my feet before I go work out sometimes too, just to give that little extra health benefit to myself.
Oh yeah, for sure. And in fact, when you use melaleuca with the next oil that we have listed up, oregano, these are fantastic. So this one says natural immune support. You know, and there are videos and things that you can look up about this, but it talks about how in dealing with like a bacterial infection, and with viral infections, you know, these two work together, where an oregano will go in and it will break down the cell wall of the bacteria, and then the melaleuca will go in there and essentially kill that bacteria. So these two, when used together, are just fabulous for when you're sick and you're wanting to get better fast. Oregano is a powerful antiviral oil. This is a great one for warts and things. You know, a lot of times we'll dilute this one and put it right on a wart, and I have had a number of friends who've gotten rid of warts within about a week to 2 weeks. So that's actually been a really fun thing. So this is a great one. In fact, there are even studies about oregano and MRSA and how they're using oregano to fight those kind of infections as well. So
Great.
That's a fantastic one. Okay, frankincense. So before you knew about essential oils, did you ever wonder what frankincense was?
I did, but I never knew, and now I just absolutely adore it. I love using the Immortelle of doTERRA on my face as a facial serum, and just rubbing the roller bottle when it was empty over my arm and seeing one of these little precancerous things just kind of float right off. It's just amazing stuff.
Yeah, no, frankincense, I had no idea what it was. It was just something I heard about all the time. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. I mean, I knew that it must be valuable, but I had no idea why or even if it was in use today.
Right.
And now it's been an amazing thing to learn about. So like you were mentioning, frankincense is fantastic for skin. Just powerful that way. It also helps to oxygenate the brain. It fights inflammation.
Memory, right? Isn't it good for memory?
So issues of Yeah, absolutely. For memory, you know, even for things like Parkinson's, to help reduce that shaking. I have a sister-in-law who has epilepsy, and my brother, who is her husband, is actually a pharmaceutical sales rep. And so she's had access to, you know, the very best kinds of medication to try and help treat that. But even still, you know, she still has had breakthrough seizures, you know, even on a daily basis. And that has had a profound impact on her life. And so, you know, we introduced the frankincense to her. And this has been such a blessing, you know, to have a tool that will help to control those seizures, you know, in an even more powerful way. And so, you know, personally, I've been so thankful for that.
Has it been controlling those for her?
Oh, yeah. No, like, you know, because her medication, it's been fantastic for helping to a certain point. But this has been really nice to help even go a step further beyond that. Another thing is I have a son who's just fantastic. He has ADD, and so that's a bit of a challenge for him sometimes. And so there's an oil blend that doTERRA has that's called In Tune that was specifically developed to help with focus. And frankincense is one of the oils that's in there as well. And that's another one that I am just so personally grateful for, because of the impact that it's had on helping our family to be calmer. You know, it has helped my son to be able to be more focused without having the concern about all the side effects and different things. I feel like it helps to put him in more of an even place with the rest of the kids. So that's been a tremendous blessing for us. And, you know, as mentioned, frankincense, there actually are research studies out there that show that frankincense kills cancer cells. And so I would absolutely recommend that people still get treatment for their cancer, 100%. But even, you know, a dear friend of mine that had a thyroid tumor, the size of her thyroid tumor was reduced by half from the time that it was diagnosed until she went in for her treatment, just simply by using the frankincense, both internally and topically on the tumor. So,
that's incredible.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to get into a couple of the blends here. Deep Blue is a life changer for muscle and joint support. And so this is one that you use for pain relief. And you can apply it directly to your joints where you have pain. I have a sister that had chronic back pain because of a car accident and had tried all different kinds of things with that. All different kinds of high-powered painkillers, braces, weekly chiropractic appointments. And after getting on the oils and on the supplements, which we'll talk about in just a minute, that's changed her life profoundly. She's gone from a point where she was in chronic pain, constant pain, to now she'll say, if I jerk or twist, you know, I can still feel a twinge of that left over. She said, but as far as the constant pain goes, that's gone. So that's no longer a part of her life, and that's been a huge blessing for her.
That's totally amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we have breathe respiratory support.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I've used with my daughter, sort of like a natural Vicks vapor rub when she had a very bad cough and a cold, helped her to sleep better at night, helped to clear those airways for her, and just really love breathe. And I've used it on myself too when I felt like I was going to come down with something.
Yeah. No, breathe is another game changer for people who have allergies and asthma and respiratory issues. As long as even just the common cold, this one will change your world. You'll be able to breathe. I mean, quite simply, you'll be able to breathe again, which is nice, right?
That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, digestin is another one that I absolutely wish that I would have had when my kids were tiny, because vomit is probably my least favorite thing in the whole world. And when you've got little kids especially, that is just a regular part of your life. And now digestin has just been such a lifesaver. And you can use it all three ways, topically, aromatically, and internally, to help ease the nausea, motion sickness, so many different things, constipation even. Like, I am slightly lactose intolerant, and this has been one that has been super helpful for me as far as that goes. So the stories about digestin, like, we could go on and on about how powerful digestin is.
Right. I actually tried some on my grandson the other night. He was complaining about a bad tummy ache. And so just let me rub some of this on your belly. And I did. And then he kind of wrinkled his nose because, yes, it's not maybe the most aromatically pleasant.
Right.
But you know what? He didn't complain the rest of the night about having a tummy ache. So it was just totally wonderful.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, that sounds so much like even just the other night, my daughter, who's 9, she had a stomach ache as well and was feeling really queasy. And we were in the car and driving. And so she's back there complaining, telling me about it. And so I just handed her back my little keychain, because I actually keep a keychain with my favorite oils in it. It's like my little first aid kit that I keep in my purse at all times. Right. And so I just handed her back the keychain, said, here you go. And, and she was able to take care of that for herself right then. And that just was such another powerful example to me of what a blessing this has been. Not only to allow me to have the tools to take care of my kids, but now my kids, they are able to recognize when they have some issue that's going on, and they actually have safe tools that they can use to take care of themselves.
To learn how to do that. It's pretty remarkable.
Yep, it's just been fantastic. Our last blend that's on here is On Guard, and this one is amazing. I mean, this is one that this blend, even just in and of itself, is being studied in numerous universities around the country because of its antiviral properties. And, doTERRA's whole line of their cleaning products, their toothpaste, their foaming hand soap, and all of those things have On Guard in them because of the powerful disinfecting properties and purifying properties. I mean, it's just fantastic. Antibacterial, antiviral. I mean, it's almost... You hate to say it, but it's almost like it's like my magic bullet. I mean, I don't want to make it sound too simple, but if something's wrong with somebody and we don't know exactly what it is, we'll just start throwing On Guard on there, and 9 times out of 10, that'll take care of it. So.
Well, one of the most exciting things that I remember you told me, and I think it took me about 3 extra videos of hearing the same thing over and over before I finally got how profound it was. But that these oils, because they come from a natural source, because they're a plant, can actually penetrate our cell walls. And they're antiviral. They can get rid of viruses.
Yes.
Whereas if we got something from the grocery store, the drugstore, it just can't do that for us. Even going to the doctor, what they give us, the antibiotics don't even work for viruses. If you've got a cold, they tell you to go home. So to be able to actively do something when my daughter was all the way in Turkey on a beautiful conference there and being so sick, bless her heart, to be able to actually give her something that really, and not only give it to her, but that she said it made her feel better. That was really fabulous for me.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. And, that's honestly one of the reasons why I love explaining this oil and the oils in general to the healthcare practitioners that I work with. Because when I say this oil is antiviral, it can slide through the cell membrane and actually have an impact on the virus within the cell. You can just see their eyes light up because they get that. All of a sudden, here's a tool for something that has been a true challenge for them, because you're right. Antibiotics are water soluble, which means that they cannot penetrate your actual cell membrane to get inside the cell where the virus lies. And the oils can. And, like you say, when you really get that concept, it kind of blows your mind.
It does. It's pretty much.
It's thrilling. Okay, so we're going to look back here at our little wellness lifestyle pyramid. And I'm just going to go back to what Karen was talking about before. That first stepping stone right there on the bottom, to eat right. Because our nutrition is so fundamental in living a preventative lifestyle, a wellness lifestyle, where our focus is on staying well rather than just simply waiting for something to break and then fix it. Now, that's a big challenge sometimes. Eating healthy, eating whole foods, eating things that are fresh, that still have their full nutritional value. Even then, what kind of chemicals was it grown with? All of those kind of things. That's just a super big challenge. And even with my kids, I can make something that's totally healthy. I can do the shopping. I can plan the menu. I can prepare the meal. And then we sit down to eat, and how much of it actually ends up in their mouth? Sometimes that's tricky.
Sometimes that's really hard to control. Well, for moms or the busy entrepreneurs that I deal with from day to day, I mean, they're just going, and myself included, sometimes 24/7. So it just has to be our priority.
Yep, exactly. And so I want you to look at this next graph here. And, we're just going to talk about a couple of these things. And the question I want you to ask yourself as you look at some of these results is, how would this change your life? If you could have this kind of a change in what your experience is now, what would that mean to you? So if you look at that graph there, you'll see the before is blue and the red is after. And the first little section has to do with pain. So you see that back pain, the before and then after, joint pain, muscle pain, headaches, other pain in general. Okay, so that pain section, that's powerful. But when you start looking into mental function, cloudy thinking beforehand, and then where it's, about half, afterwards. I mean, it's just the energy that you get, even motivation. And then you're looking at immune support, like cold and flu, illnesses, anxiety before and afterwards, frustration and lack of control before and afterwards, irritation, right? Look at that.
Yeah, and it doesn't even include all the oils. This is only talking about taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack.
Exactly. So that's what this is. So doTERRA's number one product, their most popular offering, is this right here. It's the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So this next slide, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, it has 3 parts to it. You've got your Alpha CRS, which addresses your cellular health. Like, it actually helps your cells to be healthy at that fundamental level. And it's giving you more energy. Now, honestly, before I started with LLV, Lifelong Vitality, I was pretty healthy. I exercise, I try to eat well. I don't have a lot of health problems. But for me, the biggest jump that I noticed right away was in my energy levels. About the time that my kids would be getting home from school, I was feeling tired, I was kind of dragging and impatient and everything. Just really, I wasn't having that experience so much anymore. What it was is I just sustained energy longer. I mean, quite simply, I just felt good. And that was so awesome. Then you hear about the importance of our essential fatty acids, about the omega acids and things. And so in the XE Omega, you have the fish oils, you have those oil supplementation, but also in there they put the essential oils. And so that's what really makes this totally different, is that not only are you getting those basic, vitamins and minerals and fish oil supplements, but also you're getting the essential oils in there as well. And so the benefits just jump tremendously. And then finally, that last bottle is the Microplex VMZ. So that's your vitamin and mineral supplement. And it's actually in a natural, plant-based form. So your body recognizes it. It knows how to assimilate it and begin to use it immediately. Whereas sometimes with other multivitamins that we're using, if it's a synthetic, your body has to go through a process to convert that into a structure that it can actually incorporate. And sometimes that conversion is not super efficient if the multivitamin dissolves at all. And so it can literally just flush right through you and down the toilet. So when you look at, if you're getting your bang for your buck, if it's going down the toilet, not so much.
No, I love that it has the food nutrient complex to it with whole foods in it. That just makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. And so if you look at this next slide, some of the quotes, this is absolutely the experience that people have. I have more energy, and that was absolutely true for me. I have less pain, and for my sister, that was huge. I have another younger sister, the part where it says I get sick less often and I'm sleeping better. That's absolutely been her experience. I am less anxious. Okay, so that's my other sister. So by the way, I have 4 sisters. So even in just these first statements, we can actually take and apply these statements to each one of my 4 sisters. If you look at I am more focused, so that's my son that I was telling you about that has the ADD. That's been our experience with him. That one where it says my doctor wants to know what I'm doing, that would be my youngest sister when he was asking her about what had changed in her estrogen levels because they were having trouble getting pregnant and her estrogen levels were super low. And anyway, so she started using the oils, she started using the supplements, and doTERRA also has a phytoestrogen supplement that specifically helps to balance hormones, and there's an oil called Clary Calm and Clary Sage as well. And so she was using those. And that, that changed her whole experience. And now she's pregnant again. Long story short, they just found out they're having a baby girl. So
that's so sweet. I know my husband's had a ton more energy taking this lifelong vitality. I've been out of the country. I'm going to be home in 2 weeks, so I can't wait to start taking it myself. But it's just been amazing watching his schedule, and for him to say he has more energy is amazing. And I can't wait to start taking that phytoestrogen either, and heard by Dr. Hill talking about how even men actually should take it because we have so many estrogens that are just coming to us in our food.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so one other thing, let's go on to this next slide here. The big old one that says 65%.
I know, I love Slim and Sassy. I've been drinking that in my water.
I know. So you look at that 65%, and you're like, what's 65%? Okay, so what it is, it's estimated that over 65% of the adult population in the United States is currently overweight or obese.
Right.
And unfortunately, outside the United States, the picture doesn't get much better. Where even, outside the United States, more than half of all adults in developed nations are also estimated to be overweight. But I think the thing that surprised me is, what's going on with children. And so what they're saying currently is about 15% of all children in the developed world are overweight. And this number is expected to increase significantly in the near future. This is absolutely a number that's going up rather than down.
Well, I'm afraid as the fast food stores exported from the Western world, I'm currently in the Middle East, come to different parts of the world, this problem does increase. And I know I've been working with one boy here, and he is obese. And to hear him telling me how his back was hurting, he's so young. And it's just from playing too many video games and not eating healthy food.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It really is a global health epidemic that we hear about it all the time. But when you're really starting to look at the numbers as far as the dramatic rise in diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, stroke, cancer, all of this, it's crazy. It really is. And something that I really appreciated has been Slim and Sassy, which is on the next slide. So if doTERRA's number 1 product is the Lifelong Vitality, their number 2 product is Slim and Sassy. And this is known as a metabolic blend. So a lot of people use it for weight loss, it's true. But what it does is it helps to balance out your metabolism. So if you have a high metabolism, it helps to bring it into check. If you have a low metabolism, it helps to boost it. It helps to regulate blood sugar levels. And so for people with diabetes, this is just, it's a blessing. It's a tremendous blessing. It helps to, it helps with cravings. It helps to help you feel like you have more control and that you're more satisfied. And I really enjoy the flavor too, as you look at what's in it. The grapefruit, cinnamon, peppermint, lemon, and ginger. It's very powerful, very strong. So, and it worked. It's just been a tremendous blessing. And personally, I've lost 10 pounds with Slim and Sassy oil. So
Awesome,
I know,
Carla.
so I like that one a lot.
My husband's been taking it too, so even though it says Slim and Sassy on the bottle, it's a really great blend for male or female. Okay,
Yep.
so our next slide is with doTERRA, you are in control.
Absolutely. And in the end, I think that that's really what this comes down to, is feeling like you have the knowledge and the tools that you need to take care of your family in the best possible ways. And this will change your life. It's absolutely had a profound impact on mine. In the last 2+ years since we've started using the oils, basically the only times that we've needed to go to the doctor have been, actually for accidents with my boys when they've fallen and really banged themselves up. But as far as like the run-of-the-mill healthcare issues and things like that, like we just are able to take care of ourselves in ways that I never even imagined were possible before. And I'm excited for you and for the difference that this is going to make in your life as well.
I'm really excited too. I mean, I've already noticed the difference since I'm in the Middle East. I got to bring some of the oils with me, but I haven't gotten to try all of them. So I've been watching videos, and then I told my husband, who had a really bad, very, very achy, painful tennis elbow, I'm like, hon, just try it. I saw this really help somebody out. So he actually did. Finally, it did take a bit of nagging.
Yeah, I know, right?
But one day I'm like, okay, we're on Skype together. I'm like, please, just try it. I mean, what can it hurt? It's not going to hurt anything.
Exactly.
And the look on his face when he put that lemongrass on and the deep blue on, it was just so fabulous. I really wish I'd had a video of that moment. But the fact is that that lemongrass and deep blue, something he takes with him every single day. He takes it to work. He's in construction. He shares it with people. He takes it to the tennis courts where people constantly have aches and pains, shares it with them, and he loves having that with him.
See, and that's what it's all about, is feeling like you have the tools and the knowledge and the confidence to really be able to take care of things, to be able to take care of yourself when you need to.
Right. He used to get these strong cortisone shots, and he starts rubbing it on there, and I mean, he might go back and get another one eventually, but he hasn't needed to. So
yeah, it's just fantastic. So now there are a couple of different ways to get the oils and to get the Lifelong Vitality Pack into your home. Of course, you can go through retail, and that's available just on the website, or you can do the wholesale membership. And most people really do go with the wholesale membership if you're looking for a wellness lifestyle. If you're looking to be proactive, and if you're looking to stay healthy rather than simply, fix the broken wheel when it happens. So if we look at this price for the Lifelong Vitality Pack, these prices are for the wholesale membership. If you buy all three of them individually, then it's $143.50, and that's wholesale. They also have a program. doTERRA has what's called Loyalty Rewards Program. And the Loyalty Rewards Program, I've heard Karen describe it like frequent flyer miles, where you can rack up points and you get an even better price on what you're purchasing. And so here's our little grand reveal. How much do you think it would be? Well, actually, let's look at this first. Just one last quick story. So I have a dear friend, her name's Karina Barris, and she lives in Santa Cruz, California. And when she first got started with doTERRA, she was looking at the Lifelong Vitality, and she recognized that she didn't know a lot about supplementation or anything. And so she went to some good friends of hers that own a nutrition store there in Santa Cruz and handed them the box and said, okay, take a look at these supplements and tell me what you guys think in your experienced opinion. And the gal looked it over and started to pull stuff off of her shelves. And she said, if I were to actually pull everything off the shelves that's in this Lifelong Vitality Pack, it would actually cost you more than $250 a month, she said. But that actually doesn't tell the whole story, because the thing is that we don't have the quality of essential oils that are actually in this Lifelong Vitality Pack. So in reality, we couldn't replicate this for any price because we simply don't have the ingredients available to us. And so Karina was all excited about that, realizing that she'd found really something tremendously valuable. And it turns out that this gal and her husband, they actually signed up with doTERRA because of the supplements. And now, out of everything that they have available to them, the Lifelong Vitality Pack is what they take. So
that's just so fantastic. I mean, people will laugh, but I'm willing to laugh at myself too. I mean, this is probably about how many vitamins. As I say, I've been into this nutritional health for a long time. This is probably about how many we were taking.
yeah.
So if we can replace that with Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is what my husband is currently doing, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I mean, it's awesome. And then, the other thing too is when I look at the next slide where it shows the actual price of the Lifelong Vitality Pack, I mean, really, it's just been
so folks, definitely get it in a pack. Don't get them individually. Get them together.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
Right.
I mean, like, seriously, half price. Anyways, that's one of the things that I love about the loyalty rewards program, though, is we just have gotten so many benefits out of it, and the better price is one of those things.
And I've gotten just in the few months that I've been with doTERRA, even being over here and just getting things for my husband, for myself, for my friends, I've probably had at least $100 in free oils that I've been, actually it's way more than that, because one month I got the Immortelle, which is a facial serum. I've used it all up now. I have another one waiting for me at home, but that's almost close to $100 retail. So I got that for free 1 month. I've gotten free oils every single month. And then plus I've gotten like an extra $100 to spend on whatever oils that I wanted. So, and that's just in a couple months. It's pretty amazing the generosity that doTERRA has for once you get to be on a wholesale level, which is why I joined.
Yeah, no, I mean, the benefits are they're fantastic. I mean, it really, for the savvy shopper, it really is the way to buy. Like, it's really what makes the most sense if you're looking for the deepest discount. So let's look at this family physician kit. Okay, so this family physician kit is basically, doTERRA's lowest starter kit. This is the one that is your most economical. There are other kits as well that, as you go up, each kit will give you greater and greater value. But this is the starting place for many people. To buy this family physician kit retail, it's $166.67. It includes an audio CD so that you begin to learn how to use your stuff. There's the introductory pack that comes with it that has fantastic explanations of how to use your things, where to learn more, all of that. And plus you get you can get some real training in how to actually improve your life. If you decide to go with the wholesale option, though, and the vast majority of people do go with the wholesale option, you get a better price on this family physician kit. So basically, to join doTERRA, I think of it like a Costco membership. So you pay your $35 membership fee, and then you get everything at a 25% discount for a full year. The cool thing about this family physician kit is you can see already that the wholesale price is cheaper. It's $150. Plus, they waive that membership fee so that all of your money is going towards oils instead of just the membership. So basically, you get the membership for free. And so that wholesale membership, I mean, it really is valuable even from the very start. When you get that wholesale membership, what that means is you'll be a wellness advocate. And so this next slide talks about what that is. So like I mentioned before, you get a 25% discount off of retail prices. That's for a full year. Karen mentioned the loyalty rewards program, which is the auto ship rewards credits. Basically what that means is that you get an additional bonus back on what you spend. And so let's say, you buy the family physician kit, then for every month that you make purchases after that, you start out at 10% back. So let's say you spent $100, then you would get 10 points that you can use to redeem for free products. And every quarter that you're on that loyalty rewards program, that percentage continues to increase. So after 3 months, it goes to 15%. After 6 months, it goes to 20%, and then it goes to 25% until finally you hit 30%. So at that point, which is where I am right now, I get my 25% discount, plus I get an additional 30% back in free products. It's almost like we're getting our health care for 55% off. The other thing that this Wellness Advocate membership opens you up for is you're able to sponsor other wellness advocates. So let's say that you're sharing your oils with your mom or your sister or a good friend, and they're like, oh, these are awesome. I totally want to get some. How do I get some? They can actually sign up through you, and you can earn sales commission off of that. Now, is that required? Absolutely not. But it is a possibility And, that's a nice thing to get that for sharing. You'll also get a personalized website, so they can just go and they can order it through your website. There are a lot of free online tools. And as Karen mentioned, special promotions. There are a lot of different promotions that go on. And so just to give you an idea of some of those promotions that are available. So with this Family Physician Kit, you'll get the Slim and Sassy for free. That's a $25 oil that you'll get to try out the full size for free. The other really neat thing about our team in particular is our continuing education program. Now, if you go online and if you were to sign up for one of these online, it's actually a program that would cost you about $450 to sign up for this course. And that's something that we offer as a gift for being part of our team. Additionally, it's important for you to get support, and we want to support you. We're here for you. And so we offer a wellness consult, which it usually runs about 45 minutes to an hour. And this is after you get your oils, sit down and talk you through, how do you use them? What are your specific questions? How do you apply this to your goals and your fitness and wellness desires? How do you make this really work into your life? And I know with Karen, as a business coach, this is hundreds of dollars that you're going to be getting for free.
I love doing it, and I've just really appreciated what the knowledge that Carla has just so freely shared with me. And this is something that's just dear to my heart with the doTERRA community, is that really everybody's there for each other, and it's quite a unique community in that you will always find someone that will help support you, always someone who will take, an extra interest, or if they don't have the answer, they'll go out and try and help you find the answer to whatever your health questions are, and be great friends too.
Yeah, it really is an amazing, amazing community. The other part of it too is with that loyalty rewards program, which is the monthly program, it's totally optional. Most people, though, like I said, who are looking for a wellness lifestyle, that becomes a huge blessing to them. So as you are getting your lifelong vitality on a monthly basis, and you can start to get those reward credits back, it just makes sense. It really does. It's the smartest way to buy them. And so if you choose to do a loyalty rewards order for the month following your enrollment order, there are additional bonuses that our team offers as well. So we've mentioned several times the Modern Essentials book, which is the hardcover reference book that we use. And so with that first loyalty rewards order of $125 or more, then you get the book for free, which is about a $30 value, plus whatever you would pay in shipping and tax and all of that. You get a free oil from doTERRA if that order is placed before the 15th of the month. And that's called the product of the month. And it's usually an oil valued up to about $20. So it just depends on what doTERRA is offering at that time. And then additionally, you get those loyalty reward points that would be enough to get another oil as well. And so that's about a $60 value that you get for that first loyalty rewards order of $125 or more. That actually is a tremendous gift as well, especially on top of all of the other bonuses that you're already getting with the continuing education program and the wellness consult and all of that built-in support. So really is just fantastic.
It is. You can use those extra points. You can get vitamins for your family. You can get laundry soap for your family. You can get shampoo. You can get all sorts of wonderful skincare products. You have a lot of things that you can buy gifts. You can buy gifts for Christmas.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And so finally, we'll have posted there the link that you can go to go ahead and place your order, and then you'll be connected with us. And we're here to support you on every step of your wellness journey. So as we look at these last couple of slides, sharing doTERRA with your friends, I would say for me, this has been such a tremendous gift. Because when you find something good, when you find something that changes your life and makes it better, you want to share with the people that you care about most. And, now when I have a friend who's sick, rather than just calling him up and saying, can I watch your kids or can I bring you dinner? It's just added such a whole new level to be able to say, and can I bring you something that will help you to get better, that will help to improve this situation that is making your life tough. And I have been so grateful for that, for the chance to really bless people in new ways. And for me, that's a major motivator. That's what makes me passionate about this. And Karen, I know that is, a strong desire in your heart as well. So I've enjoyed being able to share this journey with you.
Yeah, it's been really tremendous, Carla. And it's so much fun being able to just share the oils, with my skeptical husband, and then see the look of delight on his face as his elbow doesn't hurt anymore, and just on and on and on with the stories. It's really pretty remarkable. So do we have anything else we want to share with our audience? We will be putting a few links below, which will be easy for you to communicate with us. And it's been such a joy. Thank you so much for listening. And we look forward to having you as part of our community. Carla, anything else you want to say before we close this out tonight?
I would just encourage you to, take the things that you've learned tonight and the things that you felt and act now. I mean, life can get so distracting, and you totally have fabulous intentions, but unless we act immediately on something, then often it gets swept aside or pushed under the rug, or distractions come up. And if this really is a priority for you, if you look on your scale of 1 to 10 and making a change in your wellness is high up there on that scale, I would encourage you to act now, to make it a priority, to make your health and your family a top priority for you, and start that journey now. And we're here to help you.
Awesome. And it only becomes more fun as we go, too. Okay. All right. Well, so I'm going to go ahead and close the broadcast now. Ciao for now.